Hey, Internet.
Get to see our lovely faces for the first lot, I guess, unless you know us personally. You've
That's not.
probably seen our face too much
I think most of
already.
our listeners have seen our faces before.
Yeah,
As
well,
unfortunate as that is.
nobody's seen my bitchin' cow mug.
That is true.
It's a mug with cows. I don't want to sound like a wiener, but I'm using this specifically because I knew we were doing video for the first time, and I just want everybody to know I like
And that
cows.
was the mug you chose to show off?
Well, the official Outrage Factory mug is dirty. So, because I had that
Oh, we do have
yesterday.
those, right?
Yeah, yesterday when we were going to record, and then I fucked up my internet and we couldn't record. I had that mug, so now it's dirty. So I'm using this mug.
Right. Hey, before we get into all that shit, welcome to Outrage Factory, the podcast where we look at the things that made people mad online and explain why they're dumb for caring. Coming to you live from isolation for a second straight week, I am your co-host, Derek Bolin.
I'm your co-host, Dale DeRuiter.
Hey, Dale.
Yeah.
Congratulations on officially outliving April Fool's Day. Today, this was the year April Fool's Day
Oh my God.
died.
Right?
Did you even know that it was?
How could you not know? Everybody online was like, if anybody does anything for April Fools, I'll fucking kill you. Like, everybody. I saw like 10 of those posts first thing in the morning, and then like nothing about April Fools. But it's good because April Fools is the equivalent of dad puns. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, nice April Fool's joke. And then it's like those couples online who shouldn't be married who post videos of them like pranking each other a little too hard, and you're like, what's going on in this marriage that you're fucking slapping each other while you sleep?
Yeah, like that's not a prank. That's assault.
That's not even passive aggressive. It's aggressive.
It is. Sorry, we went on live for.
I'm live. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna try going.
This will
live
be
again.
the juicy tidbits on the behind the scenes then.
All right, we're live again.
Oh, good. What do you think? Was it just too much bandwidth?
Who the fuck knows, man? Technology.
Was I talking too loud?
Too much sexiness. Too many collared shirts for
Yeah.
this.
Blue collared shirts, the official shirt. Oh, I just wanted to, before we slip in to all the like societal collapse talk and how we're super scared of COVID, I do want to point out one silver lining to this whole COVID thing.
Which is?
So today is the first day of April, the 4th month of the 20th year. And like 6 months ago, everybody was shitting their pants because they were like, we get 420 for a whole year. And all these kids were super pumped. But guess what, fuckers? You don't get it. Once in a lifetime chance, and COVID stole it from you.
I mean, that's a big fucking silver lining, but you think
I'm so happy.
All the other events that are obnoxious that have been canceled, like Nickelback tours or, baseball or like just everything that has been removed from the calendar.
Baseball? Sorry, that just registered.
The world's shittiest sport.
Whoa. Let's not pretend soccer doesn't exist.
True, that's gone too. Like everything is canceled, so there are some wins for humanity in that.
Yeah. I'd have to say that. Like, and if this stretches out long enough, we won't have to put up with Burning Man. Like seeing pictures of the summer, I guess.
No, I mean you're still gonna have to see pictures because people will be posting like there'll be some dumb fucking virtual Burning Man.
Oh my God, this guy at work. I hope he doesn't listen to this. He probably doesn't listen to this. He was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, so how was your first weekend? This was like however long this has been going on, like 3 weeks ago. And he's like one of the higher ups, like one of my bosses. I was like, how was your weekend? Not going out. Ha ha ha. He's like, oh, we did a virtual rave. And I was like, awesome.
I mean, I've seen there have been, it's been really interesting to see how all these like virtual or digital events pretty much entirely taking place through Zoom, which is what we're using to record right now. Have just kind of stepped in and taken the place. But it's always like, did you ever see a silent disco? Like, were you ever at an event where they had a silent disco? And it's just like,
No.
oh, I went to Coachella one year,
Yeah.
and on the night before,
Whoa, ladies!
ladies,
Derek's been to Coachella.
yeah,
I don't know if you know this, but he's a seasoned concert goer.
I did spend 4 days sweating my dick off in a tent in the desert and not shit.
Lady! 4 days of sweaty dick. Who doesn't love that?
But they had the very first night before the whole festival kicked off, they had this fucking silent disco, and you would like walk up and like, luckily everyone was drunk or high enough to not give a shit, but it was a bunch of people standing around wearing headphones, dancing to music that only they could hear. And it
wait, were they listening to their own music, or was it all like?
No, it was all like one music.
So it was like a radio station.
Sure. Well, no, they had like a DJ on the stage.
No, I know, but it was like people were like, "Hey, this is a radio station. We're all listening to the same music, and we're
dancing to it in our own little and it was super fucking awkward. So that's kind of what this is now. Like, I think it's cool to an extent, but at the end of the day, you're still just dancing by yourself in your living room.
I think the one thing you would learn from that silent disco is the weird grunting noises you make when you dance that you don't usually hear because there's music drowning it out.
Do you make grunting noises?
Wow. No, because nobody can ever hear it because it's always drowned out.
I just meant everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else except for me. Because I can't hear me because I'd be wearing the... But, you know, like you're like busting, you're like... I don't know. But you're probably younger, too, so you wouldn't have as many... Like, you didn't have your, like, old man hip yet that you still have.
What the fuck? Why does this thing stop going live?
I don't know. But, still recording, right?
Okay, so apparently I have to stay. We are still recording the podcast. Apologies to our podcast listeners. This is going to be probably our shittiest episode.
No, we've done way shittier than this.
I'm going to try one more time.
That 4 days of sweaty dick content already has eclipsed many of our episodes.
Stream ended unexpectedly. All right.
Is it because too many people are on the internet?
Well, no, there's nobody watching our stream specifically. So we're going to try one more time.
No, I mean like the bandwidth of the world is being sucked up.
Oh, yeah. You got to think at this point, like we are just, could you imagine going through this without the internet?
Oh, dude. Like we were talking about this yesterday when I had my internet problems because I'm an idiot and I didn't pay my bill on time. So it actually got cut off, which I think is a rude thing to do during COVID. Like, you should maybe be like, yo, we are going to cut you off.
You should have played the COVID
Please
card.
play.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, they're like, if you can't pay your bill, you could have COVID things. And then you apply for it. You're like, how am I going to do that without internet? It's not like I could call anybody because everybody takes 4 hours of waiting time.
There was a thread on Twitter the other day, and it was like, what do you think people are going to... what is this going to change permanently in like a post-COVID world? And my reply to that was essentially, nobody is ever going to complain about having to take an hour to speak to a customer service rep ever again. Because like right now you're trying to call places and it's like, so I went and like tried to apply a payment to my credit card.
Yeah.
And my credit card got canceled for fraud detection, and they gave me a new one. And I submitted my payments to the old number. And I tried messaging them on Twitter, and I was like, "Yo, can you just like take the old take the payment from the old card, put it on the new one?" And they were like, "No, you have to call us to do that." And I was like, "Fucking fine." And I call in, and it's like a 3-hour wait from people trying to get payments deferred or whatever the fuck is going on. So. Yeah. Now I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I will never, ever complain. If I have to wait under 3 hours to speak to a customer service rep from anywhere, that is a victory.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Like, and I think one thing maybe post-COVID I'd do is buy more data for my phone. Like, just pay the extra money and get a bigger data plan. Because this month, I went over, I got this message. It's like, oh, you're $50 over your bill. I'm like, what?
How
And
are
then
you
just,
over your bill if you're not leaving home? You know you can connect your phone to your internet at home, right?
Derek,
Were you aware?
sometimes people turn off their fucking Wi-Fi because when you're driving around or you're walking around, it keeps busting into these hotspots so your pages don't load, and then you accidentally forget to return on your Wi-Fi when you get home, so you're just fucking
Yeah, but then,
blasted through Reddit on your fucking data plan, and then you go over.
and you're watching the full-length pornography videos, like the 2-hour supercuts
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
on
watched
the
a
toilet.
full pornography movie.
I don't know who, like, you look at how porn is structured, and it's like, who doesn't just watch their like favorite scene for 5 to 6 minutes and then call
5
it?
to 6 minutes.
Like, who is sitting there watching the? Why? How long does it take you?
Yeah, that long too. Definitely not shorter than that. Maybe 20. I don't know. I try not to keep track.
It's like I suffer from premature ejaculation even when I masturbate. It's not just having sex.
It's like you get one of those those like preview clips, and you're like 5 minutes. That's not enough to do anything, and then like it's halfway over, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna go back to playing.
I wonder if these porn companies realize on Pornhub like that they are shooting themselves in the foot by putting. They're like, oh, 11 minutes. Like someone's gonna want to watch the full length video. Like no one is going to do that. 11 minutes is plenty.
You're gonna want to pay money to see them talk before the part you want to see.
Yeah. Can I get more of the dialogue? I need to understand their character motivations.
Yeah, please do that more.
Hey, speaking of, I don't even know what the segue is. Do we want to talk about some COVID news?
I think we pretty much have to, because that's, I don't know. It's like you want to keep it COVID light because everybody's like, well, me specifically is thinking about COVID and be like, what if this is the end of the world? So you don't want to harp on it, but it's like the news cycle is pretty thin for non-COVID news.
It is. To reiterate, the country is fucking basically shut down until June, probably longer.
The end of June.
Yeah, end of June. But for them to come out and say, hey, we're just warning everyone it's going to be the end of June, to me, that suggests we're looking at like September, October, maybe realistically.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
30, I think the US hit 30% unemployment. So like businesses are just like hemorrhaging employees or money or themselves and just shutting down entirely.
That's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, you and I are both lucky enough that we've both managed to retain our jobs, at least until our employers come across this podcast. But
oh, hey, that reminds me. I don't know if you know this, Derek, but you're sharing a podcast with a hero. Actually, you're sharing 2 podcasts with a hero, because Scott on your other podcast is also an essential service, so that his job will never go away. His is more essential than mine, because like I work. So I guess if anybody hasn't heard me talk about this, I work at a equipment rental place where we rent boom man lifts that help people like lift up for construction. And one of the essentials services on the list is construction. And then below that is support, like the support offices and businesses for an essential service. So in a roundabout way, I end up being an essential service. So I'm kind of like a sidekick, I guess. And I guess Scott would be the hero. So
like you are helping what? Because the only real essential workers right now and the real heroes are the people, you know, obviously the healthcare workers, but
and police, and I don't know, grocery store workers too. They probably have it the worst, because it's like if you're working a minimum wage for a grocery store, you didn't sign up to deal with fucking everybody. Like just the level of anxiety. Like you go to a grocery store right now, and the level of it, just base anxiety that everybody's feeling, just knowing what's going on, and then just being in that 8 hours and not being like a trained medical professional. Like, I'm not saying grocery store workers have it worse than medical staff. I'm just saying medical staff are kind of like trained for, maybe not this specifically, but
That kind of, well, yeah, medical staff probably get like crisis training, whereas your average grocery store employee does not fucking have any of that at all.
Yeah, like they might know where the fire extinguisher is.
Well, and it's hard to like, I mean, I'm sure you could even look at it and be like, okay, it's like easy to go to the grocery store and I'm just going to go there and pick out a few essentials. And then you walk into the grocery store and you just see like barren shelves where the hand sanitizer used to be and no toilet paper, and realize you're going to be shitting into a bucket for the foreseeable future, at least until the end of June. It's hard to look at that and not panic.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like you go in there and it's just like, I don't know. One thing I do like is everybody gets a nice big personal bubble. Like nobody's bumping into you when you're looking at stuff on the shelf. Everybody's like kind of like tiptoeing around each other and like giving each other lots of space.
Have you found that you're like immediately, like if you go out in public and you see another human being now, you are immediately like, you just kind of like, you're disgusted or revolted by that person? Like you narrow your eyes and you're like, I do not trust any people at all anymore. Everyone is by default a disease carrier.
It's like, it's that mixed with, oh my God, another person. We're all in this together. We can make this. So it's like hope and hate just mixing together, because on one hand, it's like, you are death to me, but you're also my salvation. So it's like this just big tumultuous, like up and down, like, cause like you don't want to get close to anybody because you don't know who's asymptomatic or what's going on, but you also just need to talk to people because you can't, like, if you're I don't know, cause people just need to talk to other people. Like there's probably some. It's
like we're all in this together and we will get each other through it, but also get the fuck away from me and don't breathe on me or my face at all.
Yeah.
And that's how we'll get through it. Just together, but at a distance.
Yeah. Like we're all in this together because of everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's us versus everyone, which might actually include you. And until I'm sure.
Oh, dude, how many times I've touched my face in the last 3 weeks is definitely me against myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, still. Like,
that's like the one thing I am like obsessive. Watch, I'll go back and watch this video and it'll be like just me like fondling my face for an entire hour. But
well, it's okay
like,
at your own home, isn't it? Or are you like, oh fuck, I just did it.
Well, no, because the shit can live on. I mean, it's okay because I haven't left my house in quite some time. But like last night, I ordered DoorDash, and if my DoorDash delivery had a fucking COVID-19 all over it, and then I touched that and I spread it all over the surfaces of my house, and now it's everywhere.
This is making my face itchy just talking about this. Yeah, like
my favorite thing is that they're like, don't fucking touch your face. And then, oh, look, it's March and seasonal allergy. I guess it's April now, but like, hey, I hope you like allergies, and your eyes being itchier than they've ever been. And
oh my God.
You can't touch them.
And for DoorDash, like, you don't know if that guy's a sociopath that just like licked the side of the bag.
I mean, I would assume, I know if I was a DoorDash driver, I would definitely do that.
Yeah. Speaking of how long stuff lives, did you hear what they said about that first cruise ship? Not the Princess one, the one after that, the one where North Vancouver residents were on. But anyways, they're like, they found COVID-19 17 days after everybody had left the cruise ship.
What?
Yeah, they said they found stuff that was like in some of the rooms living for 17 days. I don't know if that was like in a puddle of water or if there was like something faulty with the testing process, like somebody had like infected, like cross-contamination.
I think there was just a puddle of water chilling in one of the
like spit or something.
Yeah, like a pool, like an infected person was just spitting into a puddle on the floor, and that's where they found it.
Because I was going off the basis that it only lasts a day, and I'm like, okay, this I touched yesterday, this I'll do tomorrow. So you kind of like don't touch anything for 24 hours and then you're good. But
they've said, oh, remember our question about how long it could live on clothes?
yeah,
They say 24 hours for like porous fibers, which is like cardboard, fabric, like natural surfaces, I guess. And then 72 hours for like hard plastic, and stainless steel could potentially be even longer.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So my whole thing was like, everyone's acting like by flattening the curve this time around. And to reiterate again, flattening the curve does not mean nobody gets the disease. It means we just slow down the rate at which everyone who are eventually going to get the disease gets the disease.
Yeah.
It's everyone's acting that by flattening the curve, we're gonna like win against this virus. And that is definitely not the fucking case. Like, best case scenario is, unless every person on the planet just hibernates at home for apparently 17 days now. I thought it was 15. 17 seems like, you know, add an extra 3 days on there, and lets this virus just die out everywhere it could possibly be. That's the only way we're going to, like, effectively crush this thing forever.
Yeah.
All we're doing right now is, like, slowing the spread this time around, and this thing's just going to keep coming back. Like, we're not.
No, don't tell me that. Just let me be in denial. Like, it's gonna come back. Like you were saying, you told me before that it's gonna come back like a seasonal flu.
Well, they said that, yeah. Like, okay, you look at how the flu operates. The flu, every year there's the fucking flu. We have never been like, let's get rid of the flu. The flu's gonna be gone forever. We won against the flu. It like circulates through populations always, and it's always being transmitted.
I got the flu shot, so the flu's gone forever for me.
That's I mean, yeah, for you. And there will be a shot for this thing, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, my favorite thing in all of this is that the people who are medical skeptics are actually going to be the downfall of the United States, but like not not in the way anyone expected. Like, I thought they are actually going to like contribute to, because you have, it's this absurd amount of people in the US right now basically claiming that the coronavirus is like a government hoax to take their fucking guns or whatever.
There's a lot of deniers. Like, the worst part about my job is it's a trade, so there's fucking meatheads in it. I'm not saying whether that applies to me or not, but with these meatheads, there's guys who just are like, yeah, COVID's it's not that bad and stuff, and it's like, what? Yeah, it is. Just, even if it isn't as bad as everybody says, just pretend it is, so that it doesn't get as bad as they say it is.
Yeah. I mean, all you have to do is take a look at like a video coming out of the post-apocalyptic hellscape that is New York right now.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Like, well, that's pretty fucking bad. Like, people don't just like go converting convention centers and Central fucking Park into field hospitals on a whim.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, like, that's not something that somebody looked at this and they were like, it's the flu. Let's spend all this money transforming this shit into places for people to die. I'm
trying not to watch the numbers, but everybody's saying this is just like the flu. I'm waiting for that day when the amount of dead actually equals the seasonal flu, so I could be like, all right, that argument's done. Nobody could say that again. Thanks for coming out.
I mean,
now this is more than just a flu.
Yeah. Silver lining on this is that this week, the death toll in the U.S. from coronavirus passed the death toll from 9/11. So with any luck, America will spend the next 20 years waging war on viruses.
That'd be amazing.
We'll be able to like eradicate every virus from the planet, just like they did with terrorism.
Yeah, like
USA.
Yeah, like they could come here and get rid of our terrorism on our behalf and maybe install a puppet government to help us continually to fight terrorism. I was like going to combine the two words.
Like tapeworms?
Yeah.
All right, what else is happening in the headlines this week, Dale?
Yesterday when we started and then Fall started the podcast, we were going to bring up how we should talk about how social media is this just sounds like a job focus group now, being like, how is this affecting the media and stuff like that, like a PSA. But like, I've noticed for sure that all this like super wokeism, like virtue signaling has almost disappeared. And okay, before when I said 420 being canceled was the best thing about COVID, I'm going to scrap that. And PC like virtue signaling getting canceled is my favorite thing about the coronavirus. I'm just trying to stay optimistic because yesterday I kind of had a mini freak out. I'm like, what if society just doesn't come back and then everything falls apart? So I don't want everybody to think that I just think coronavirus is a good thing. I'm just trying to not focus on the world ending.
Yeah, focus on how cancel culture is now canceled.
Hey!
Nobody's getting canceled anymore. You can be the most toxic piece of shit in the world, and you're not even going to make the news because of all this corona. What you will make the news for is not staying home. That is now the absolute worst thing any human being can do. You can get away with murder. You can sexually assault someone as long as it's within your home. If you exit your home to do either of those things, you are the worst human being.
Yeah, like not social distancing is the new racism.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable thing to say.
Actually, now it's like you figure somehow like social distancing would almost be easier for racists because they already try to stay away from like large pockets of the population. Now they just have to like include everyone else.
I don't know if that's how. I think racists try to make large pockets of the population stay away from them. It's inverted. It's like the equivalent of like right now, if you were to go outside and just like fake sneezing. Can I pause for a second? Everyone in the comments is talking about fucking Tiger King. Yes, we will talk about Tiger. Dale, have you seen Tiger King yet?
I haven't seen it because I listened to like when all this shit was going on, like 6 months ago or whatever. I listened to podcasts talking about it and I was like, oh, that's a garbage human being. And then the show came out and I'm like, I don't really want to watch a girl get her arm ripped off or a guy shoot himself in the head because he's a complete idiot.
That was the most disappointing thing is you don't actually get to see her arm get ripped off, but it's still like, this show is insane. We will get to it, people in the comments, after we stop talking about the fucking world ending, which is a little more in terms of priorities. Anyway, what were we saying about coronavirus? Oh yeah, cancel culture is canceled. Racists, it would be like the equivalent now if you were to like go out in public and just like start fake coughing and sneezing all over shit.
Oh my God. Sorry to cut you off, but have you seen any videos where people are doing that?
No,
this one dude like
doing that?
Oh yeah, dude, this one grocery store, some lady as a prank went in and like coughed on all the produce, so they had to throw away $35,000 worth of food. But this other guy was like threatening a grocery store clerk or something. So he like, you see in the video, you see him like turn and spit, and then just out of the frame, this guy just comes in and bang, like right in the side of the head. It's like the most satisfying guy getting punched since the Richard Spencer guy getting punched.
Yeah. I would fucking absolutely. Is there a video of this person getting punched?
Yeah. I only saw it on Reddit, so it's like blah, blah, blah. So I don't know the actual link to the guy getting punched. Hey, yeah, sorry. Just like aside, how do you get to the video comments?
What? Oh, I'm on, if you go to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/outragefactpod.
Yeah.
For the listeners at home, you can see the live stream, but you're going to have to mute your audio because you will hear the sound from the audio.
Yeah, because my audio is the computer audio, so it would just be this audio too. So I'll just let you check the comments.
Yeah, it's 100% Tiger King right now. That's all these people want to talk about. So is
it all the same people talking about it, or is it multiple people talking about it?
It's multiple people talking about it. Everyone wants to hear about Tiger King. We will talk about Tiger King.
Okay. I should be part of the cast. What?
Oh, you are reading the comments now.
They just loaded. Tennille, I don't know what that's supposed to mean or how to take it. So I don't want to get my arm ripped off, and I don't know how to use guns. So
I'm pretty sure only one cast member got their arm ripped off, and then there was the dude with no legs. Also, if you went to an exotic cat farm and you saw not one, but 2 employees with missing limbs, would you want a job there? Like,
hey, the guy lost his legs in a zipline accident, not from a tiger. That's what he said.
It's not like you would not assume. You would be like, oh, a person with an arm ripped off, and people with 2, like a guy with 2 missing legs. These tigers are fucked up.
Oh yeah. The first question I would have is, how many tigers are on this farm? And he would like, how much is, I can't remember how many it is, but it's some ungodly number in like 50 acres, which is not enough for more than 4 tigers, if you'd ask me. But I'm not a tiger expert.
You are definitely not a tiger expert, but you know, I'm sure a lot of conversationalists would agree with you. It was 227 tigers. Everyone just wants us to talk about Tiger King. Welcome to Tiger King Factory.
We're already talking about Tiger King.
Talking about Tiger King on the internet in the midst of, I guess, do people not want to hear pandemic news anymore?
I think people are latching on to Tiger King because that guy's life is worse than their life at home.
I think it's also like, what was the other thing that dropped? Oh, Ozark season 3. Did you you and Ozark?
I'm still halfway through Ozark season 2, and I am a fan. I just put it down and then forgot to go back because I always like, I'll watch like half of a season, but I'll fucking smash 6 episodes or something, and like Ozark's pretty heavy. So if you like smash 4 or 5 episodes of that in a row, you're like, oh,
you feel pretty.
I need something I need something that doesn't have a blue wash on it, just like a different color. So then I'll go watch something else. But I've been watching all of
Reminds me
new stand-up specials on Netflix and stuff.
It reminds me of that scene at the end of In the Mouth of Madness when he's like, Did I ever tell you my favorite color is blue? And then he opens his eyes and it's just that blue filter on everything.
Yeah, they just start screaming on the Greyhound bus.
Yeah. I was Sam Neill's finest role, by the way, to anyone who is listening to this podcast. If you have not seen In the Mouth of Madness, you should absolutely check it out.
It's funny because that came up 2 days ago for me because somebody was saying, they're like, I haven't watched Event Horizon since it came out, so I'm going to rewatch that.
Another great Sam Neill movie.
And I'm like, you got to pair that with In the Mouth of Madness. You can't watch one of those movies without the other.
Yeah.
Like, they're my 2 favorite Sam Neill movies, and they're both like sci-fi horrors. They're so good. I don't know if they stand up. Like, the visual effects are probably dated in spots, but it's kind of that good period because it's right before digital effects when they're still using lots of practical effects. So that stuff kind of looks bad, but nothing looks as bad as old digital effects.
Yeah.
Like Scorpion King.
I'm not
for example.
Wait, with The Rock?
Yeah, like, dude,
he's like talk about an animal and a king. Scorpion King was the original king of the animals. That guy had his scorpion farm. He had, the zookeeper, no arms, and scorpion bites all over her body.
Oh, man, we handled this all wrong. Okay, restart the podcast. What we're going to do is we're going to say we're talking about Tiger King, but it's all just going to be Scorpion King stuff. We'll be like, yeah, and when the Tiger King, he turned into the scorpion near the end to fight the main guy. That was crazy, right?
We actually need to do that. So everyone who was listening to this or watching this, forget this happened, and we're going to release a special Tiger King retrospective. Ignore the air quotes I just did also. And fuck. But yeah, I made a comment the other day. I was like, preemptive congratulations to the producers of Ozark and Tiger King because they basically released the shows that got us through this long international nightmare. They're definitely going to win like a fuck ton of awards simply for that.
Yeah, like they should, the next Emmys and Golden Globes, they should be like COVID Emmys and COVID Golden Globes, or like, because if we manage to get over this halfway through the year, there should be like the shows that are released after that should have like different categories, because there's no way anything's going to compete with Tiger King after this.
Yeah, like
Or
non-COVID categories.
that Blind Love or whatever.
Love
Like,
is Blind.
yeah, now that Netflix has a top 10, I'm always like, oh, what's in the top 10? And it's lots of reality stuff. And I'm going to alienate all of our audience, but I fucking hate reality TV. That's the real reason I haven't watched Tiger King.
Bro, Love is Blind was amazing. Tiger King is more like a true crime documentary almost.
Yeah.
It's less reality TV.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like an accidental documentary, because like someone said that they were recording all this stuff because they're thinking about making a reality TV, so they're just getting footage, and then like the murder and all that shit went down, so they turned it into a documentary.
It was like the two guys. Did you ever watch the 9/11 documentary about the two guys who just like happened to be shooting a documentary about firefighters in New York City, and they were there for 9/11, and they were
no, I didn't see that.
They had the only footage of the first plane hitting the tower, and then they ended up like they went into the fucking World Trade Center with these firefighters, and it just happened to be because they were shooting this firefighter documentary. These two totally like unheard of filmmakers ended up getting super fucking famous because of it.
Still unheard of by me. Sorry, guys.
But
Sorry, super patriotic heroes of the movie. I've never heard your name before in my life.
That is the level that all filmmakers aspire to, is to be heard of by Dale DeRue. That's like, fuck your Oscars, you want a Daler.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, could you imagine? Those would be the worst. I'd be like, okay, this whole movie sucked, but there was this one time when he punched this guy in the face and it looked like it was by accident. It was super funny, so that gets the award. I don't care about acting. It's like it'll be like the best screenplay is, I'll be like, I don't actually care about plot. To me, plot is just what holds the action pieces of the movie together.
John Wick.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a service conduit to get to the next fight. That's all the plot is to me.
All right. What the fuck were we talking about?
Tiger King, apparently.
So you haven't seen it.
Terrell says I can't talk about it because I haven't seen it. So
you can. You should watch it. We'll discuss it in our next episode, which will also be a live stream, probably, seeing as how people are enjoying this shit so much. What else is there anything non-coronavirus related?
Let me check. I'm just gonna go through. Let's see. No, there's a bunch of stuff. Oh, fucking Jason Kenney, who did you hear about this guy? Was his medical minister. Somebody made a meme about him, how they were laying everybody off, or that there's something to do with healthcare, that the action they took, the people would then have to sign up for privatized healthcare, and then he'd get all this money. So by laying people off, he was actually going to get money in a roundabout way. So somebody posted a meme about this, and then he went to that person's house, knocked on their door, and then screamed in their face. Like, the top minister of health in Alberta just shows up on your door and screams at you. So, and then Jason K's like, I'm not firing this guy.
He did know the guy personally, apparently. They had gone to medical school. Yeah, they'd gone to medical school together. Yeah. So there was like a personal relationship there, but it's still fucked up that a government minister would go like shout. It reminds me of, have you ever seen that picture? And it's just some dude's garage door, and it's just "Don't email my wife" spray painted on it in big black letters. And this is like the political equivalent of that. And this is like a government minister going and berating a doctor for posting a meme on the internet, which is the most innocuous thing anyone.
Yeah, and it's like it turned into like an internet troll's biggest wet dream. It's like you post a meme and then you make the guy so fucking mad that he comes to your house and yells at you. It'd be like
That's a victory.
That's a feather in your cap. Like, I bet that guy brings up that story at every single social gathering once the coronavirus is over.
Yeah, assuming it is over and social gatherings are a thing that exist again.
He's a medical guy who's gonna solve coronavirus just so he could go to the bar and tell this story about how this guy knocked on his door and yelled at him. So he's gonna be like a double hero.
Yeah, like for internet trolls, there are like a couple. One is like getting a reply. That's like the first level of victory.
Yeah.
One is getting a block. That's the second level of victory. And then the ultimate victory is when the dude shows up at your house and yells at you in front of your kids.
Yeah. I'd probably have to have. Okay, so new plan. I'll have kids, and then I'll step up my mean game.
Best reason to have children right now is so someone can yell at you in front of them. That's the only socially responsible reason to have children.
That's not the best reason. That's the only reason to have kids. Like, forget about seeing your progeny fulfill your dreams in your future and carry on your lineage.
Or carry on your bloodline. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want an audience to witness your epic level internet meme trolls by the minister of the government.
Oh, fuck. There was another Jason Kenney or Albertan thing. Was there not?
Oh yeah, he so how many people did he lay off like in the last week? You told me yesterday it was like 25,000 or something.
25,000 educate. So I think they were teachers specifically.
Yeah, they're like teachers and support aides. So he's like, well, there's no school right now, so we don't need teachers. So he laid them all off, and then he gave $1.1 billion to
who? The education
pipeline.
Industry.
Nope, it's an oil pipeline. It's not even Trans Mountain Pipeline, the one that's coming to Vancouver to ship oil to China. It's Keystone Pipeline or the Dakota Pipeline. Remember that one like 4 years ago when it was like a year of them not building it because there were so many protests, and then they finally were like, fuck off, we're just going to build it. He gave money, $1 billion, to a company to build that pipeline.
And as we all know, that miraculously salvaged the world's supply of oil. Like, I don't know what Jason Kenney fucking thinks, because the oil industry took a massive shit kicking just from people in China not driving around.
Yeah.
And now there's this huge surplus of oil. Nobody in the world is driving anywhere right now. Like, anywhere. Nobody's driving a car. So we have to wonder, like, after this shit is over, assuming it's over, they're going to be, like, paying you to fill your car up with gas because they're going to have so much fucking oil they have to get rid of.
It'll be like the opposite of all the apocalypse movies we've seen as kids where they're like killing each other for oil. And this one, it'll be like the oil is the stuff nobody wants, and they'll just build like disgustingly large cars and trucks, and like society will be like mobile because they'll just have so much oil that they'll have like these convoys of giant vehicles that just drive to one natural resource to the other. But what I heard in defense of this pipeline, as ridiculous as it is to build a pipeline that is still under scrutiny and they're probably going to revisit if they're actually going to build it or not, the surplus of oil has filled up the reserves in Western Canada. So it's like, we can't fit no more oil. So it's like, it's not even that taking oil out of the ground has slowed. It's like, there's nowhere to fucking put it. So they basically have to get either this or the Trans Mountain Pipeline finished just so they can flush the toilet and get rid of some of the oil. Like, if you would have told me 5 years ago that Alberta's biggest problem is the world has too much oil and they can't get rid of it, I would have been very surprised.
Yeah. Dwayne just spouted off in the comments to say the Saudis and Russians flooded the market first. Not driving wasn't a reason, to which I would like to reply, shut the fuck up, Dwayne. Your country.
Well,
created this virus.
Yeah, Dwayne, you shouldn't be popping off right now. What
Just
actually
fall back
happened?
in your little Wuhan hole.
What actually happened was your country wasn't driving around, so nobody was buying the oil from the Saudis or the Russians. And the Saudis were like, yo, Russia, you better step off because nobody's buying our oil. And Russia's like, oh, we'll just make more oil. That they'll buy it for less, but we'll make the same amount of money. And then they started an oil war by driving the price down.
Do a Saudi accent. No, don't do a Saudi accent.
Yeah, that's racist.
Yeah,
Russians are technically white, so I can make a Russian accent and not be a racist. Also, I don't know how to do a Saudi Arabian accent.
Yeah, that's definitely for the best. So yeah, Kenny laid off a bunch of people who, I mean, really, what is education good for? If you're just trying to
absolutely nothing.
Well, raise a bunch of like oil patch workers anyway, right? Like you don't need fucking school for that.
You just need a fucking trade school. Like you could become a fucking welder after grade 9, so you don't even need to like. They don't even need high schools. They could just have elementary and middle schools.
Wait, you can become a welder after grade 9?
Any Red Seal trade you can start after grade 9.
Damn.
As an apprentice. I don't think you could get your Red Seal until you're like 18 or whatever the age of maturity is.
I'm like, so there's this coronavirus thing happening right now.
Yeah.
Right? You with me? You with me?
I think it's still happening. I haven't checked the numbers in 20 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's still going on.
Okay, so we have an entire generation of children who are not attending school for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And they're all trying, I mean, they're being allegedly taught by parents who have no fucking idea how to educate a child. Like, I have no idea how to educate Noah. I'm just going to put him in front of YouTube and hope he doesn't watch an Alex Jones video. Hope he doesn't watch like 100 Alex Jones videos. That'll be
have I volunteered to watch your child? And I promise I won't get him into conspiracy videos.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, a little conspiracy is probably good right now because if we were all a little more paranoid, the Chinese government wouldn't have manufactured this virus and sprayed us down from the chemtrails, and we'd all be fine and healthy right now.
Dwayne's probably losing his... Wait, how is Dwayne even watching this video? I thought there was like the red curtain stopped Facebook from going over there.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Just in case,
he's watching it on WeChat. I get it. Yeah. I can't wink.
No. What?
Look, that's me winking.
What?
It's like I have to concentrate and use half of my face to try and wink.
I need a new podcast co-host.
You already have another one.
True. We're going to have an entire generation of children who are not educated by professional educators. And like, what the fuck is that going to look like in, 5, 10, 20 years?
Oh, it's going to look fucking messy. Like, I didn't want to sound the alarm and just sound like a crazy person, but I am a crazy person with conspiracies. How many serial killers are we going to just make in 20 years because kids didn't go to school, didn't get socialized properly? Like, imagine if this goes on a year and we don't let kids talk to other kids.
Dude, if this goes on a year, I'm going to be a fucking serial killer. I will murder people if this lasts an entire year.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine if in your developmental years, you just weren't able to see other kids for a year?
Yeah.
I mean
like okay, you go.
Okay, I was going to say, at best, we're going to have a whole generation of kids that are as weird as people who are homeschooled.
Yeah. Well, I was even going to just say that, like, so we grew up in an era where the internet kind of like came to fruition and people started like solely communicating with other people online. Yeah. And everyone got fucking aspergers as a result of that. So you look at, now you're taking away like total social interaction. I'm like, Have I forgotten how to interact with other people? Like, do I know how to have conversations with people anymore?
Can we get Asperger's in a month?
What?
Like, do you think people from the start of this like isolation till now have developed Asperger's that quickly?
Yes,
Like, do we
100%.
understand?
Like, absolutely.
Yeah. I was gonna say also like everybody's like all these people are. This is kind of like just I don't know how to explain it, but it's like all these people are like I'm an introvert, blah blah blah. But it's like you have to talk to people on the internet. Like, do you still get a count as an introvert if you still need the interaction of another human? It's just through the internet.
I fucking nothing makes me angrier right now than smug introverts being like, although they pretty much disappeared by this point. At first they were like, oh, this is gonna be perfect, and now we're stretching into like week fucking 4, and they're like, oh my god.
And then they're like, oh wait, people are paying attention to me online, and now that's the new talking to people outside. So they've socially retreated off of line.
How have you been keeping in touch with people, Dale?
I text people, and I still have to go to work.
Fucking boomer. Text.
Because as I said, I am a hero, and I work for an essential business, so my shop is still open. So I still have to go to work. And
is it weird there? Like, is everyone social distancing and like not getting too close and having conversations?
Yeah, well, there's a couple guys who are like, I don't believe it's as bad as they are, but it's like we're not allowed to like. We're all supposed to keep 6 feet away. The public aren't allowed in the shop to like drop off stuff. They have to like leave stuff in the parking lot, and then someone goes and gets it. And then they did stuff like there's 2 urinals side by side, but they blocked off one because they're less than 6 feet together. And then it's just like, oh, they're like, they freaked out because we have an office section, like there's the shop section where everybody's like away from each other because we're always working on machines and shit anyway. But then there's the office, and it's like the office is all freaking out because their desks are all like pretty much as close as you could get without social distancing, and they're all paranoid they're all going to catch it. And then we're all like fucking around in the shop, like making dick jokes. And then they like, the one day they had like 3 times where someone came out and they're like, okay, guys, everybody change your gloves. Cause we wear like these like vinyl gloves to do all our work. They're like, change your gloves every 10 minutes. We'll just give you gloves. And we're like, okay. And then they're like, if anybody needs hand sanitizer, you can have it. It's like, but the glove thing, do we still need the hand sanitizer? They're like, yeah.
Wait, do you guys have hand sanitizer at your fucking shop?
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I guess they were so desperate, they got this like weird hippie hand sanitizer. So it's like, it's hand sanitizer, but it has like lavender and fucking tea tree oil in it.
I mean, is there alcohol in it? Because
yeah, it's like
doesn't kill anything.
It still has the 70% isopropanol, but it's so funny because it's like spa stuff. So it's like there's us big beefy dudes and we're like working on machines, and then they squirt this like lavender and tea tree oil like into our hands and rub it, and on the side it says made with good, and so it's like the new like slang at the shop is like, yo, you got any like good, and it just means like give me your hand sanitizer. So it's like just like everything else, we're making jokes about the seriousness of it, but we are like, it's mostly like whenever anybody goes to tell you something, you're like, hey, 6 feet back, stay away from me. And like you were joking, but we're still like taking it seriously type of deal.
Yeah, you should take it seriously because you're still interacting with people.
Definitely.
And they're probably, as going back to our earlier point about how everyone is the enemy, they're probably just teeming with virus. So keep your distance.
Did I talk about the guy on this podcast who got sent home, or did I text you that?
You did not. You texted me about it. If you want to talk about it, go
ahead.
I'll
blow up his spot. So this guy came to work, and his girlfriend had been at that medical conference or the dental conference downtown Vancouver. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of Corona where there's 15,000 people.
Dentist in Vancouver got coronavirus. Yeah, I recall.
Yeah. So she was there, and then he's like a super conspiracy guy. Like he goes on Bigfoot hunts and stuff. Like I could spend multiple podcast episodes talking about this guy.
Sounds better than the fucking Tiger King. Give this guy a documentary.
And this other thing, he says there's this shadow. Okay, this is way off topic, tangent factory, but okay. So he's like, oh, there's this shadow following me. I'm like, okay, you have to fucking tell me everything about this shadow person. He's like, okay, so I was sleeping and I was like, this better not get dirty because anyways, he's like, so I'm sleeping.
I woke up, I was covered with my own cum. How did that happen?
And he's like, I open up my eyes and there's this shadow person staring at me. And I was like, oh, so you died of a heart attack or burned your house down? The only two logical conclusions to a story of a shadow person staring at you. He's like, no, I closed my eyes and went back to sleep. And then I opened my eyes and he was gone. And I was like, wait. You wake up, you see a shadow person staring at you like from feet away. And then you just close your eyes.
Go back to sleep.
That's how you get murdered by a shadow person. Like, you see a guy and then you start screaming as loud as you can. And like, if I woke up and I saw a shadow person, I would probably die from screaming so loud, if that's a thing. It would be like, yeah, this guy died from screaming. I didn't
shred your vocal cords.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was possible to die from that, but his brain exploded. So anyways, this is the guy that we're talking about. And his girlfriend was at the conference and they're like, this isn't real. It's like a government conspiracy, like what we were just busting Dwayne's balls about. Like, he actually believes all that stuff. And then he was like coughing at work and he said he had fevers. And the guy's like, yo, if you're sick, you shouldn't come to work. He's like, oh no, man, this coronavirus is a hoax. And the guy's like, what? No, it's not a hoax. So that guy left and went and got the big boss. And the big boss is like, yeah, you're going home for 2 weeks. Get the fuck out of here. Nice. So it's like, it was so satisfying too, because it's like you see these people like ignoring him, be like, yeah, it's not real. But then it's like, yeah, get them the fuck out of here. Only the cool kids get to play in this sandbox.
Yeah, people who believe in viruses and fucking the medical establishment's advice. It blows my fucking mind that like all this shit is going on, and like the virus is just like blowing the fuck up in the US right now, and people are clearly very worried. People who have gone to school for a very long time to understand viruses and how they work, and lots of people are dying, and there are still like not indiscriminate amount of people just like denying that this is any problem at all.
A lot of religious people are having trouble coming to terms with this killer virus.
Yeah,
I'm finding.
Well, because it's not God's plan. Who did this?
Not Jesus, God? That's for sure.
Yeah. Whatever.
Back God.
Buddha?
But I think they're gonna start like pressing charges against these people too. I think like I saw some minister down south had like a 10,000 person gathering for his church, and then I think they were like charging him with like, I don't know, some random shit.
That was one of the clusters. Oh, I think it was in France. The cluster outbreak that they had was actually from a mega church, like a evangelical gathering of people, and there were like thousands of people there, and they all got coronavirus and like went back to their own towns and spread everywhere.
I thought you were talking about the Smurf thing. It's like the
that
Smurfs and a mega church. France has it all.
I like how the Smurf gathering went off fine, and there was no coronavirus from it, and then fucking your God gathering gave everyone coronavirus. What does that tell you? We're all gonna come out of this worshiping Papa Smurf.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think, because you're working from home, right? So there's no point in talking about how your work is handling this.
My work handled it by 3 weeks ago, saying, hey, we're working from home for the next 2 weeks. And then last week they said, hey, we're working from home at least until May 1st. And then this week they sent everyone $500 so that everyone could buy things for their home offices and outfit their homes with what they need, which is actually pretty fucking dope. Like, I'm super lucky to work where I am. And then I imagine.
Wait, did you just say that because your boss watches this now? Or
no, my boss. If my boss watched this, I would not be employed at Cleveland. Let me tell you that. No, it's that they gave us money for that. And then I assume as we get closer to May 1st, they will probably, I do not foresee myself setting foot in that office again, at least before July, if I'm being honest.
That's a long ways away.
I think that's fucking true. Like, we look at Toronto just canceled public gatherings for people until the end of June.
Yeah.
I think Vancouver just followed suit. We have the health minister of BC saying, like, do not expect shit to go back to normal. And a lot of, like, these plans are contingent on people in other provinces being, like, BC is doing pretty well by and large. Like, we've managed to, I think our doubling rate is the lowest in Canada. We're like doubling the rate of infection every 7-ish days, which is like super fucking low. But it's also contingent on like people in all the other provinces and the United States getting their shit together, which, you know, other provinces maybe, but definitely not. Like, the US is just gonna be a fucking shit show for the foreseeable.
Yeah, well, at least the East Coast. Like, I was worried about Washington because of that what was that, Kings County or whatever, where that 13 of those seniors died in that nursing home. I thought maybe it was going to explode just south of the border of us, but that's kind of slowed down. Whereas like New York is just like they have.
I don't think Washington slowed down. I think, like, sure, maybe they slowed down, but I think it was just like everything else blew the fuck up so much that we were like, relatively speaking, Washington is no longer a problem.
Yeah, okay, I'm just looking up the numbers, and Washington is still pretty high. Like, they have 6,000 infected, whereas New York has 84,000 in one state, and then New Jersey has 22.
That's basically in one city. Like, I think of that 84,000, like 75,000 are in New York City proper, and then like, it's just gonna be fucking. And that's going to grow because it takes, what, like 5 to 8 days for symptoms to present themselves? So...
yeah, like, that's crazy. Like, if you were to, like, that whole takes 5 to 8 days for symptoms to present themselves, it's like, if you were going to manufacture a sickness or a parasite, you pretty much couldn't do better than the coronavirus. It's like, it takes 5 days.
Why do you keep calling it a parasite?
Wait, what is it?
The virus.
Okay.
A parasite's like a organism that lives inside. Is it a parasite? Have I been wrong this whole time?
I was just, don't blow me up. I'm not a medical scientist. Okay, so fine. The virus, you couldn't really build a better virus than this. It's like you go asymptomatic for up to 5 days, and then it takes another 2 weeks to get over it. It can live outside on its own for maybe up to 17 days. We don't know what the fuck was going on with that cruise ship. At least 3 days on stainless steel. It affects different people differently. Like, there's all these like random things they can't even figure out. Like, that's the thing that's getting me right now. It's like, I finally got over the fact that, yeah, maybe society won't ever come back and maybe it won't be different. But then it's like, just they don't know anything about it. It's like, because it affects men more than women. And they think that's just because men are dickheads and we live worse lives and our lungs are shot.
We deserve to die more, for sure. That's probably a reason.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound sexist, but men are idiots and it's all our own fault.
It's okay for sexists against your own sex.
Okay. And then it's like there was a study saying that it might affect different blood types differently, but that was a study of only 3,000 people and it wasn't peer reviewed. And it's all like they're doing all these studies, but then they're like, we don't know, maybe, yeah. And it's like, and then they're like saying like, maybe if you are around the virus more, the symptoms get worse. Like, that's why these like young, healthy doctors are getting so beat up by it because they're around like patients. So they keep getting like the infection in them grows or something. And then they're saying like, there's like 100-year-old people surviving and then like 30-year-old people dying and stuff. It's nuts.
Yeah. So, like, nobody has any fucking idea. At first they were like, you know, this indiscriminate, like this impacts people who have like compromised, like the regular people, like immunocompromised people or old people. And now, like, after watching how it just kind of fucking like tore through Italy, they're like, we have no idea. Like, you get it, and if you get it, there's like a 50-50 chance that you either have like mild cold symptoms or you die.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of middle ground. And it is like God's perfect killing machine. That's fucking, it's crazy, man. It is like, it consistently blows my mind how fucking like surreal and bizarre this situation is, and that we are living through it right now. So
yeah, and I gotta say, like, all things considered, this apocalypse is pretty anticlimactic. Like, maybe we'll get to like fucking Mad Max level. I mean, we got enough oil that we can get these big sweet ass machines that like we can all wear S&M gear and then just drive around in the desert.
I mean, we could start doing that tomorrow if you wanted. Let's go. We can order some bondage gear. Oh, fucking the other thing is, like, I was going to be like, we can order bondage gear on Amazon. We can't do that because Amazon, at least in Canada, I think they're still functioning normally in the States, but in Canada, if you try to order anything that isn't like an essential household item, like I went on Amazon the other day and I ordered 2 shirts and it was like, you know, expect these by May 1st. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Like t-shirts.
I was going to ask you before today, because I went to go find a headset to record this podcast. I was like, oh man, I was like, oh yeah. Cause I was going to be like, oh, I'll just ask Derek to order them on Amazon, same day delivery. I was like, oh yeah, that's not working. And it's like, I was just like, naive person me. I'm just like, drove to Best Buy. I'm like, Best Buy has technology. They'll have headphones. And then I get there and it's like, you can't even go into Best Buy. You have to line up and you have to order.
Wait, are they still?
It's like you order online and then you pick it up at the store. So it's like you go there. So I got there and there's like all these people. I was like, yeah, I probably should have thought of that instead of just being like, So I went to Walmart. And Walmart's still operating normally.
Oh yeah, Walmart is and will forever be an essential service because.
Yeah, they did tape lines on the ground though, so you have like when you go to line up, you have to like stand beside them, and they turned off every other self-serve kiosk thing. And London Drugs is also operational.
Oh, probably because of the whole drugstore thing.
Yeah. I think all grocery stores, it says all grocery stores, medical supplies, convenience stores, and anything that sells food pretty much. Yeah, welders is essential.
It's also so Kate works for a company that sells software to car dealerships.
Yeah.
Car dealerships are considered essential because people need to be able to drive places.
Yeah.
And then Kate's employer went and took the additional step of having their employees deemed essential employees because they need to sell the software to the car dealerships that basically, like, if you want to go, it's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like if you try hard enough, like anybody on earth can be deemed an essential employee. If you're even just like remotely associated with.
Yeah. Like if you look at BC's list of what's essential, real estate's on there. Like no offense to our friend Matt, who's a supremely good real estate seller.
Lots of offense to Matt. He's shitty and we hate him, and he's watching this live stream. So
that's the only reason I said his name. I don't understand. Like, I guess maybe if you need to sell your house, like you lost your job and you have to panic move, like get out from under that mortgage or something, so you want to sell it. But I don't imagine too many people are going to go to like an open house or be like, oh, hey, can we go do a viewing of that home right now? Like, I don't understand how, like, I get how you like need real estate, but I don't think anybody's going to be selling anything.
That's the other thing is so many people, like today's April 1st, first of the month. Yeah. How many fucking people like bought new places back in like January or February and they're moving in today and they have to do that under, I mean, maybe it was easier for them because, well, probably less easier because you probably couldn't hire movers to come and handle all your shit. So you're carrying it yourself. But there's probably less traffic on the roads at least. So.
Oh, there's definitely less traffic. Like I go to work now and I feel guilty how much it pleases me to drive to work. And like, I barely have to stop for stoplights. Like it used to be like you'd stop at a stoplight and it would cycle 3 or 4 times before you get to go. And it's like, now it's like, if you stop, you're near like the 3rd car in line. It's amazing. Like if Vancouver didn't have traffic, it'd be the perfect city. And right now, it's the perfect city.
for at least the next, and if the weather was a little nicer, it'd be
Yeah, except for you can't really drive anywhere because everything's closed.
Yeah, I'm really fucking looking forward to when it heats up to like, well, I guess the hottest it gets here is like what, 25, 26, but buildings in Vancouver have fucking air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
So we're all going to be like sheltering in place in fucking May and June and just like sweat. Like, you think it's a funny joke now that everyone does like conference calls and nobody's wearing pants. It's just like by May or June, like the rules of society are going to have gone out the fucking window, and it's going to be me hanging out shirtless on like a Zoom call with my CEO.
Yeah, dude, you're going to give that 4-day sweaty Coachella dick a run for its money this summer.
I for real will. All right. Anything else you want to cover?
Just mostly conjecture about conspiracy theories. Like, I was thinking today, like, it's fucking cold. Like, I know everybody's got to be sick of Vancouverites complaining how it's cold, but it's like 2 degrees this morning, and I'm toying around with the idea that maybe one of the reasons it's colder is because there's no smog holding the heat in. Like, we lost like an insulation blanket because nobody's driving around to make that level of air pollution that would make it warmer, like trap the UV rays from bouncing back into space. Sounds scientific, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, imagine, okay, just bear with me for a sec, because this is like tenuous at best. So imagine that since the last like however many years we've been heating the earth up and we've been melting the ice caps, and then so like what's going to happen naturally is as the ice caps melt, there's going to be more water to surface area of the earth, so it's going to actually be like a cooling action. And then as it heats up and there's more water in the atmosphere and more CO2, there's going to be more plant food. So it's basically like we're building this earth that's going to like make a lot of plants. So it's kind of like trying to keep up with the level of pollution we had before. So, but now that we've taken it all away, what if it just like, it's like a jump start? And since all this stuff was like, since there's so much more water now to like, that would cool the earth, but the smog was keeping it warmer. What if just this like 2 months that we've had off just starts a chain reaction and we get an ice age?
Oh, was that the end of it?
That's it. That's my scientific take.
Yeah.
It's more of like cool movie plot, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that on the podcast.
Wasn't this the day after tomorrow? Didn't that literally happen in a movie?
Actually, no, the day after tomorrow was a gigantic superstorm. It was a hurricane that was so big, the center of the hurricane opened up a spot and sucked in cold air from space and shot it down below the atmosphere and super cooled the earth. That's ridiculous. That would never happen.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this week's Outrage Factory. Whether you listened or joined us online, we really appreciate you taking the time. Hey, I've been your co-host, Derek Bolin. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Herder.
I've been your co-host, Dale DeRuiter. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at SuperDaleBot.
You can follow us both on the Twitter machine at Outrage Fact Pod, or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Outrage Fact Pod.
iTunes. I don't know if it's fixed now, but for a while you had to go and actually go to the store and go to get the episodes because they weren't automatically downloading. It wasn't just us. It was all the podcasts I checked. So hopefully that's not like an understaffed problem at iTunes head office or whatever. But we're still on iTunes. Even if you didn't get the last episode, we're still there. So maybe just go get it. But if you are on iTunes and you're listening to this, you already figured it out. So
congrats, you did it.
Yeah, way to go. And we're going to start video podcasting because we're going to start making videos of this. This was our first live stream. I hope all 7 of you that watched really enjoyed it, and I hope we touched on Tiger King enough. I don't know maybe I'll watch it and then we can talk about it, break it down later.
Dale promises, hey, if you go over to our Patreon right now, which is patreon.com/outrage factory, and kick us $2, Dale promises he will watch the entire season of Tiger King this week so we can talk about it on next week's podcast.
That's a good deal.
I'll take it.
I mean, $2 to make Dale do something is pretty cheap.
Cover the portion of Dale's Netflix subscription that would be required. Oh, hey, you have a Crave login, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna talk after this.
Okay.
And if you like the podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you really like it, tell your friends about us. And if you really, really like it, give Dale $2 and we will watch Tiger King and talk about it. And until next week,
stay angry, but safe.